Fiscal deficit of India has reached 120% of the target. It is only in October 30th. We have November, December, Jan, Feb, March to go. So looking at 5 more months, the government has run out of money. And this means this year's deficit target is going to be way out of the reach. But this is not only this year. Every year the government has missed its fiscal deficit target. Every time we have a fixed expenditure, but we overestimate the amount of revenue we can collect, and we are always short of money. Tax to GDP ratio is always decreasing. Let's see what is happening. Welcome back to Be Rich. The government is not able to collect more taxes. So it hit upon, in the beginning turn of the century, a new idea. It would do revenue sharing with the private sector. Public-private partnership is not new. We have been doing this for 20 years in India in various fields such as telecom, road, airports, etc. But the experience has not been a happy one. Lately, the government has started private trains and the railway board has strung out a contract in which the railways will get a share on every service provided, not only the tickets sold. But already, the premium trains run by the government of India is called the Tejas, is running empty in most places and will have to be stopped. So the private trains, which started with great funfair, started by IRTC, have come a cropper. People don't want to pay too much to go by train. It is only the upper middle class which go by the train. For the even today, even for the upper middle class, they go by trains only where they can reach in a place within overnight journey. Suppose I have to go to Bangalore, it makes great sense to take a Shatabdi. But if I have to go to Bombay, I want to take a train and just fly. So only distance which is accessible overnight, people prefer train. And these trains are chock-a-block full. This is for the second class AC and the first class passengers. The trains mainly run on second class trains, which is majorly habituated by the middle class and the lower middle class people. And they are not going to pay to travel in a comfort of a 5-star train. Except tourists in Palace on Wheels, India's luxury train business has never taken off. But even other than that, whatever the government has done in terms of telecom and oil and gas have not been successful. Let's take the term of oil and gas. The government has entered into a production sharing, a revenue sharing contract with a firm named Reliance Industries. The idea of revenue contract was that the government would only start to get revenue only when the gas and oil is sold for commercial use. The initial revenue share from the government will not be paid to the government but will be adjusted for the development of the field. But who will approve the price of development and the cost of development was not known. It was accused that Reliance computed, the CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General said, Reliance had not got prior approval for the money spent. Reliance claimed it spent $808 million in developing the field and therefore had to be compensated for some. Some said Reliance had padded up the costs and made unusual money. While the case was going on, the fields ran dry. The government got only $100 million. Reliance made $900 million. In that $900 million, we do not know accurately what is the cost of development. So, from there on, oil field development has not taken off in a big way in India, and we are forced, even though we are floating on oil, we are now forced to import oil because the government has not been able to come with a proper production sharing contract. In the telecom sector, the case was opposite. Basically, the telecom density has shot up from 2000. Everyone, including my maidservant, has a telecom. But what has happened in that process is two big players have gone bankrupt and the banking system is saddled with debt. Even today, where there are three major players, nobody seems to be profitable. This is because, guided by the experience in oil and gas, the government landed up huge service agreement, which is called the Adjusted Gross Revenue Agreement. The government wants a cut in every business that telecom is doing. This includes if they buy fixed assets and rent it out, if they do any other allied services, in everything government wanted a slice on corporate deposits, made interest made on deposits, etc. And this was a draconian provision. All the telecom operators went to court and the matter went to Supreme Court, which took it 10 years to decide the matter. And finally, the Supreme Court upheld the order of this draconian act. What is now known as Vodafone Idea and Airtel have to pay money in the regions of 90,000 crores each. Airtel has made a substantial upfront payment, and the companies have been given 10 years to make payments. The collection is so usurious. We do not know whether Idea will be able to survive this as a going concern. Surprisingly, except Reliance, none of the other promoters have also made money. We know of his brother, Reliance Industries' brother Anil Ambani, who was basically in power and telecom, has gone bankrupt completely. Therefore, what has happened is the government has not set out clear terms in collecting how much money will be collected and what is payable. The government in India always worries whether the private sector is making too much money. There has to be a realization. If somebody is investing money, it is private capital and some retail shareholders also putting money into it. If there is no profits for the retail shareholder and his greed is not satisfied, nobody is going to invest in infrastructure. Neither the government has infrastructure, no private party will come into building roads, building airports, and any other structure if they are not going to make money. In case of airports, Delhi Airport, which is the most successful airport, has a usurious agreement with Airports Authority of India where they have to share 45% of the revenue made. What DIAL has done is the airport revenue is very thin and all other services are outsourced to companies who operate them. The Delhi Airport buys those services from related companies and does not pay any revenue to Airport Authority of India. This is the other side of the extremes. All we have to do is have an equitable and fair settlement so that both the government and the private sector who brings the capital makes money, not one at the other of the expense. Thank you for watching. Be Rich. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification. If you use Kindle, you can buy the book using the Kindle link given below. If you want a hard copy, send a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would get in touch with you. At the very end, if you want to get in touch with me, please send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. I am grateful for your support of Be Rich.